Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Hope y'all have had a good week. And I'm here to talk about something kind of pretty interesting. When I was thinking about this, I thought, I think I want to talk about this with y'all. So it's all about your personal brand. And maybe you've heard of this topic, but when you think of branding, people, like, for the most part, the first thing that comes to their mind is what, like, big companies do. Company branding, Nike, just do it. Coke, have a Coke and a smile. And you could probably think of a ton of other ones. But, I think that's really what most people associate with the word branding has to do with business. But believe it or not, each of us has a personal brand, whether we're aware of it or not. The question that I pose to you today is, what's yours? The way I see a personal brand is this. It's what people take away from an encounter with you. Do they feel good and inspired? Do they feel listened to? Do they feel helped? Do they feel ignored, judged, less than? Think about your personal brand as your reputation. And let's look at that a little bit deeper. Now, I talk a lot about not caring about what people think about you. And I also talk about not letting others determine your worth. And y'all, I still support those two statements fully. They're hard to do, but it's great if you can really, really live by those two statements. But what if you could be the architect of your personal brand, like intentionally? What if you could actually be the kind of person that you would like people to know as you? Right? Doesn't just happen. You are what people come to know, even if you're a fraud, right? I'm not talking about being a fake nice person or somebody who needs to be publicly recognized for donating time, energy, or money to a cause, or somebody who goes about getting the approval from others because you tell everybody all the good things that you've done. No, I'm not talking about that. But what if you could actually be the person who you always wanted to be without pretense? And that people actually had amazing takeaways when they were with you. Okay, so here's an exercise, y'all. I want you to get some paper out and a pen, and I want you to write down the following. So if you need to pause this recording, go ahead and do that. But if you're still listening, here's what I want you to do, because this is really, really cool. Okay, so you got your pen and paper, and I want you to write down the top 20, not the top 20, sorry, y'all. The top qualities and characteristics that you believe you display on a regular basis. Okay? So maybe there aren't 10. Maybe your list, the top list isn't 10. Maybe you have 5 that you know you display, right? Meaning, let's say you are compassionate, you're kind, maybe you're rigid, maybe you're critical, maybe you're, I don't know, whatever else, loving, giving, selfless, all those kinds of things. So maybe you have 10, maybe you have 5 that you know, you're a good listener, right? All those kind of things. That's part A. Part B is this. I want you to then reach out to 10 people who are from different parts of your life. And I want you to have them list the top 5 qualities and characteristics that they experience from you. Maybe you're always jolly. Maybe you're always fun and lighthearted, or maybe you're very serious. Ask them what they tend to walk away with feeling from interacting with you. Ask them what they tend to feel when they walk away from an interaction with you. And I'll tell you what, I promise you that you're going to be incredibly enlightened with this feedback. Maybe it confirms how you show up, right? Maybe it doesn't. It does take a bit of a thick skin to pose this question to others. But here's the catch. If you're really serious about getting honest feedback about your impression on others and the world around you, here's the deal. You won't get any clearer information than asking other people for their impressions of you. Here's the thing. The key is to ask people that are a combination of the following. Choose friends who are typically honest and that aren't invested in making sure they only say nice things to you. Okay? Real honest friends. And then next, ask people who you know from different parts of your life. Your job, the gym, clients, customers, and anybody else that you believe you see on a regular basis that are going to give you honest feedback. Now, here's the kicker. Now you compare who you think you are, that list that I asked you to make, those top 5 to 10 qualities and characteristics, with the actual feedback you get. And chances are you're going to experience, you're going to get a list from all these other people that have majority of the same things on them. And you're going to be able to notice in what areas that you're successful with your personal brand, right, when you're on mark. And then the areas that you're going to need to cultivate more because that's who you want to be. Okay? Now, I ask that you go into this exercise with an open heart and an open mind, and to tell yourself that none of this is a negative. This isn't critical. You want to become a better version, a truer version of who you are. And maybe you think you're displaying certain qualities and characteristics, but man, you're in a vacuum. And only you think you are, but you're really not. And you need to do more of X, Y, or Z to be who you want to be. So what do you think of people? What do you think people think of you? Are you the party girl, the funny one, the loud and obnoxious person? Are you kind, loving, and selfless? How do you make people feel when they encounter you? Do they feel a level of comfort with you that they haven't felt with most others? Do they feel accepted? Do they want to run the other way when they see you coming towards them because you're a freaking drain on them and you're a Debbie Downer and all you do is bitch and moan about your life? Or maybe you're arrogant, loud, and they just don't want to hear you talk about yourself anymore. Are you a good listener, a great leader, an innovator, someone who is always there to help? Do you help people feel loved and accepted? People really don't care what your social media photos look like, especially if you're that needy person. And my God, I see these people all the time. I get why everybody posts these things, but for God's sakes, if you need that kind of validation, you better work on your inner shit, because people post all these things about their health and every single thing that goes on with them, and they don't bother to get the help that they need in order to feel happy so that they don't have to be that desperate and needy, right? All these people, I get a kick out of this, all these people who are so needy for affirmation and confirmation, who take selfies over and over and over again. You know very well that it's not like, they take one picture and boom, they post it up. They're posing and taking 5, 10, 15, 20 pictures just to find the right one that they feel like looks so casual, right? And they do that to get that short-term ego boost. And I guess this is something that I got to work on because it really kind of pisses me off. It like pokes a nerve at me. It just annoys me So if I have to be honest, I'll probably need to work on that in myself to resolve that. People really don't care what trips you've been on, except that small circle in your life. They don't care how fancy your car is or how much money you have. They will, though, remember how they felt when they were in your presence. It's not hokey. It is for real. It is for real. And I always know that because as an empath, I am so freaking sensitive to other people's energies. And when I was first dating my boyfriend, he was a little weirded out that I was kind of quiet at the beginning, like especially when I was around other people. But he had to learn that it wasn't that I was unhappy or not having a good time. I have to take things in, and I have to figure out who I'm around. And a lot of times, if I encounter people whose energy isn't comfortable for me, I pretty much kind of get quiet, let them do their thing, and I just kind of remove my energy and protect my energy. So trust me, I am somebody that picks up on people's energy so fast and know what they're about. And so I always know how I feel in somebody's presence and whether or not I feel good and loved. They're going to remember you when you made sure to listen to them when they talk about a challenge that they had, and that you might have offered some suggestions or just held space for them and gave them a hug afterwards. So many people need somebody to just listen. They're going to remember you for how kind and compassionate you are. They're going to remember you for being a soft place to land and someone who takes time to hear them. It's one of the most valuable things that you can do is to hear somebody. Doesn't mean you need to let them go on and on and on and get deep in their shit, because you could say, you know what, I think you need to get some help with that, but I get what you're talking about. They're going to remember you for being possibly the one person who actually listened to them and really heard what they had to say without criticism, without guilt, or barrage of discouraging words. So what is your personal brand, your legacy? What is your personal legacy that you're trying to really leave? Who do you want to be? Who do you need to begin being to be that person that you'd like other people to truly experience you as? It's a big question. You're saying, I want to be seen as in charge, in control, a leader, or this, that, and the other. Well, my point is not that you pretend to be something. If you want people to truly experience you in a particular way, you really have to embody that particular way, because people will sniff out a fake. And at some point, you're going to blow your cover and you're going to say something wrong or do something wrong, and people are going to go, holy shit balls. I didn't realize he was faking it. That he was actually car poor and he's driving this Porsche, house poor and he's living in this mansion, all for image. Don't be that person. Be the fullness of who you are, your greatness, and if there are things about you that you want to work on to become more of, go do that. Leave people feeling as if meeting you, even for one time, was the most wonderful and memorable experience that they've ever had. Leave that lasting impression. Lift others up and be real when you do it. When you're happy on the inside, inspiring others and being kind comes naturally. And we all have the capacity to be kind and inspirational to others. Your personal brand, my love, is your reputation. So what legacy do you want to leave? I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I hope you really think about who you are. Hope you really think about the imprint you want to leave on others. I don't want you to try to leave an imprint. I just want you to be everything that you want to be. I love you. I wish you a wonderful day, a blessed week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.